Fallen star stock picker Cathie Wood's ARK Invest recently purchased shares of pandemic darlings, including Roblox Corp, Roku, Shopify, and Zoom Video Communications. All of these stocks have fallen out of favor this year, and the flagship ARK Innovation ETF has also fallen on hard times, slumping by more than 50% this year. Many of the stocks in the ARK ETF have not fared well with the aggressive U.S. policy of tightening, which has hammered hyper-growth stocks. Luckily, the asset managers sold off more than 500,000 shares of Snap Inc. ahead of the company's earnings. Following the Snap earnings, the stock came under heavy pressure with another steep sell-off. And Cathie Wood has remained bullish on the fund's biggest holding, Tesla Inc., and it appears that she continues to be bullish on many of her other holdings, evidenced by her continued investments. Today, we're going to take a quick long-term look at ARK ETF, Zoom Video, and Shopify. So, let's go straight to the charts. So once again, we're going to take a look at the long-term charts on Shopify, Zoom Video, and the ARK ETF. Now, as you can see right here, all three are shown on the same chart, beginning with Shopify, and the symbol is SHOP, and then Zoom Video is ZM, and then the ARK Innovation ETF is ARKK. And for disclosure purposes, I do not hold shares of any of these in my portfolio. Now, before we really talk about this, let's go down and take a look at the input so you can see how to put multiple stocks in. Here is your stock chart settings, and all you do is simply input the symbols here, followed by a comma, the next symbol, a comma, and then the third symbol. I'm actually not sure how many stocks you can put in, but you can try that. Oftentimes I like to compare two different stocks. So again, it's a stock symbol, the comma, and then the second stock symbol. So back on up here into the chart, this is the monthly chart that goes back to 2015. And Shopify is in black, Zoom is in red, and then ARK is in the blue here with the red. So, moving here into the chart, and you can definitely see that from the top in this area here, they all have fallen all the way down here, with ARK closing at 44.09 at the end of Tuesday's trading. But very similar patterns in all of these stocks and the ETF, and it's because they're all hyper growth, and much the same thing happened to all of these stocks. Here again is the ARK volume, definitely picked up here, and then in the sell-off it really spiked up here. So right now we have relatively low volume, but we have to wait until the month completes. Moving down here into the MAC, you can see that the MAC topped out for the ARK ETF here, with the fast line moving through the slow line at this point, and then that's all she said. Moving on down here, very hard sell-off. The fast line is accelerating there from the slow line, big separation. Moving down below that zero line, the slow line will go below that zero line here soon enough. And now all the other stocks, Shopify and Zoom, have very similar patterns in all of their oscillators. And then here into the histogram, you can see that top there with the sell-off and that deep move down. We're at -10 on the histogram. Now wait for that to start bottoming and basing in here if you're interested in buying ARK or the other two stocks. But again, study the charts and conduct your due diligence on the fundamentals. Here, price rate of change, very steep, all the way down here below that -75 on the fast line. It is only attempting its first sawtooth here after quite some time. So that's not good. I think there's a lot of time that needs to happen for this ETF to repair. The stocks as well. Moving here into the RSI, very weak, 21.35, deep down below that 50 or midline. Just a smidge of a turn here, perhaps the very beginnings of a bottoming and basing, but this is going to take several months, I would imagine, at least a few months. Here in stochastic, same thing. Looks like it is in that overbought territory. Now, for that to bottom and base again is going to take some time. We do see here in the Williams, it's at a very negative 99.03. That's almost to that negative 100 level. It doesn't look like it wants to climb out here very soon, but just continue watching. So you definitely have a lot of time if you're interested in any of these hyper growth stocks or the ARK ETF. Back up here to the price chart, one last look, and these definitely have had a difficult time, but they could rebound in the future. Follow those fundamentals, but certainly follow the charts. Start out with the monthly chart, because if the monthly chart doesn't look good, then there's no reason to look at the weekly or even the daily unless you're following it. Now you can follow these stocks or the ETF on the daily and the weekly and get to know the patterns and the movement, but always look at the long-term charts, the monthly chart. And so for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.